Sir, පටන් ගන්නද?
පටන් ගන්නත් sir නෑ මම.
Okay, ma'am, shall we start now?
Yes, please.
Okay, ma'am. Ayubovan, good evening. Welcome to another live interview session in line with the Educational Summit 2022 planned in June. So let me just brief on this summit prior to starting the discussion. So this is the South Asian International Education Summit 2022, which will be held from 18th to 20th June in Colombo, Sri Lanka. So I take this an opportunity to welcome all 7 countries to join in hand with us to have a wonderful experience in June through this summit. And today's discussion is with Dr. Meenakshi Mehra from India. We warmly welcome you, madam, for this discussion.
Thank you.
And we have our teacher, Ms. Nilanka Balachandra, who will be conducting today's interview. Welcome, Ms. Nilanka. And I would like to mention our president, Mr. Janaka Kamalguda, who's always there with us to create this platform. Welcome, sir. And with that, I guess we can start the interview for today. From here onwards, I invite Nilanka to continue.
Thank you, Ms. Hasini. I would like to give the opportunity to Dr. Meenakshi Mehra. First of all, can you, ma'am, please give a small brief introduction?
First of all, namaste from India and good evening to everybody who's watching. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank everybody who have been, involved here. Now, talking about myself, I'm an educationist and I'm into this industry from past 11 years. And I am into ECE and early childhood education and the primary education. I have worked as a school principal. I'm a curriculum designer. I'm an award holder for many, as a best principal, as a good curriculum designer. I have my articles were been published into newspapers. So it's a very small thing. Still learning into this industry. And still I'm working as a school principal. I'm a curriculum designer for 3-4 schools, international schools. And on top of it, now I'm particularly designing curriculum for ECE for, with the new NEP policies. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Okay, then let's start the discussion. Today, our topic of the discussion is approaches and principles for quality early childhood education. So I would like to ask the first question from you, ma'am. Can you explain the nature of early childhood education in your country? As an example for Eccd, early childhood care and development. Can you explain the nature of your country?
Yeah, so when we talk about ECE, that is early childhood education and care, so it is more important, that the preparation, it is the basic age where the preparation is done for the primary schools. It basically aims, the holistic development of child's social, emotional development and the broad foundation of lifelong learning and well-being. So that is a basic thing when we, go for a foundation of a child or any human being. For you, for us, so it's the main thing. So more of social and emotional development, that is the base of that.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. And what is the parents' interest in early childhood care and development? And what do they expect from the Eccd center?
See, earlier parents were not that much involved into ECE. In the previous ages, but in 21st century, which we are talking about now, nowadays parents are highly involved in the kids' education starting from the early age, and the involvement of parents can make a positive and lasting impression on child's development. what we can say, the basic age where the learning abilities are starting from, where the foundation is starting from, when the child, is experiencing the early quality of learning, that is care, the short term, cognitive developments, which where they, boost the how we boost the child is like encouraging the child, encouraging, for small things. Yes, you can do it, encouraging, for every single thing. So the parents are taking utmost care for that. Similarly, it would be also in, that helps if the parents are involving more. Nowadays, parents are involving really more and taking more interest into early childhood education, that is the holistic, development. In the school also, it is happening here also, and school at home also. When that happens, when the child parent take care, take utmost care for the development, the what happens is for the child, it has the success rate for the child development increase, after life, after in the academics, once at a basic age, that is from 0 to 6 years, at the basic age, when the parents are taking care, or the teachers or the educators are taking care, that becomes the most, the foundation is laid very clearly. So that if the foundation is strong, you can build building for 100 floors also, that doesn't matter. So nowadays, parents, yes, they are involving more for that purpose.
Yes, yes, of course. And how is the government involved in early childhood education in your country?
Now, in new NEP policy, the government has, developed new rules. So the government plays an important role in the education industry as per in India. So the democratic and, of the responsibilities in government of India issued by Lok Sabha, that was listed in Lok Sabha, and in every, the government proposed curriculum that was being given by Lok Sabha to the education in 12th to 5th, the fifth plan. Every year, that is the fifth year plan, 12th to 15th year, fifth year plan, the total rupees of 69 lakhs 197 crore rupees were being allotted to the education sector. Now, as it was it was allocated at that time, and now also the flagship was given to the development progress. Now it is like 11 lakhs, sorry, 1,16,178 crores, which has been allotted to only education sector pertaining to ECE. I'm talking about more on NEP. So where the education is related, the more schemes are being allocated in education sector by our government now. The first is, Mahila Sukanya program, that is KYPY, Kasturba Gandhi Balika Vidyalaya, which is like again a scheme for girls, especially for girls education. Again, it was one more scheme was being allocated, and it is like National Literacy Mission. Rashtriya Shiksha Mission, that is was given by Abhiyan, was going on, and now also it is being more emphasized by the government. In new education policies 2021, NEP has given more emphasis on ECE, early childhood education development. These are the few points which were being, given by the government. I have just taken out that points and I've shared with you.
Yeah. And as you said, what are the national policies and the standards on Eccd in your country?
See, the policy for which we call is 3.1 policy of NEP. The NEP confirms, the vision of holistic and, integrated development of a child with the focus of, of care and early childhood development. That is sub-stage, not the main stage. That is a sub-stage of development, in quantum to order the support of the child overall development. That is, what is the overall development? Is the overall development is the holistic development of a child, where everything, all the skills are being taken care of. Now, the vision here for the government is to achieve the holistic development, actively learning, capacity of the child. Every child is different, as we know. Every single human being is different. So if, according to that, if, the necessity, how the child needs, so as I said, 0 to 6 years is the age of promoting free, universal, inclusive, of equitability, joyful, and a time of full of opportunities. That is a time where we give to the child of fully, we just let them do whatever they want, and we want to see the full potential of the child. Where in this way, the NEP, the new education policy, the national main level of new education policy, it is more emphasizing on ECE, where they are more focusing on the child's capability of it can happen the child cannot be good in studies, it can happen the child is not good in sports. So whatever the child is good into, it's the job of the educator, as if I am the teacher, it's my job and responsibility to enhance that skill. So these are the main policies of few policies. There are many, there are huge list. It's a huge list, but I have taken a few for your knowledge.
Yes, of course. And then I want to know how is
but few areas I want to continue with, if you don't mind, for the educational policy. Now, the first is to the access with the equality and inclusion of the programs, which is into private sector and the public sector. So there are two domains which the government is, forcing into that. Second is improving the quality of education. So the third is, monitoring and supervising. As I said, if I'm the teacher, it's my responsibility to take care of how the child is. What is first thing is to see what the child is good into. Second thing is to enhance that quality. So that is monitoring and supervising. Third is research and documentation. So checking the background of the child, of the parents, documenting everything, that has to be perfect according to, the new policy. The third, the fourth is, implementation of the rules. What they have to implement the rules properly. I'm talking about private and public sector both, in both the domains. Now, arrangement in ECC cells, that is how they have categorized the policies. The third, again, the next is, National EEC Council, they have planned for action. If that happens, what is next? So they have to follow the particular cell domain into that. Third, sixth is periodic reviews. Now, what happens is when you take the review of in periodical basis, you have to take the reviews of the teachers, of the parents, of the, your educator, your school head, everybody, to give the proper, assessment of the child. Again, the next is, awareness of generation, whether bringing, if the new generation is coming, they're aware of the particular, how is our surrounding, whether we are safe or not, good touch, bad touch, the education system, everything they should be aware of, including the teachers and the educators. Now, the last is increased investment towards the ECE. As we are seeing in this 21st century, the more, the domain which more we are looking forward is the ECE. Education. And to be very frank, the educational sector, apart from, the hospital domain, this is the more, the education sector is the second most highest domain where everybody wants to go and learn and, be a part of that. So these are the few key areas of the policies which I just wanted to share.
Yes, thank you very much. Actually, a good explanation. And I want to know, how is the private sector involved in early childhood education in your country?
Now, talking about private sector, it's like building blocks. It's like Legos, if that's a proper answer for that. But the building blocks for learning in the early childhood education is laid into very early age. So preschool teaching is, is very intense. If you are a preschool teacher, you can understand what I'm trying to say, because that's the early age and you have to work very hard on that. So the preschool teaching is very intense and, contribute immensely to a child's social and emotional and physical development also. So the importance of ECE in private sector especially lays the groundwork for the child for overall development. So what happens is, they provide good environment, they provide good, services according to that. That plays a very important role into that. So both, government and the private sector, both are having the same modules of how to, go for ECE in India. So But the main thing happens in categorizing, the rural and the urban areas, different types of center services. That's the growing area, what I, say to that. So the fee structure, the services they are providing in the private sector, that all depends on their infrastructure, the services they are giving for having a daycare facility or having different, educators, special educators, it all depends on that. But the bottom line is the offerings, whatever the private sector is giving, they charge accordingly. While the government has the little less of that, comparing to the fee structure for preschools, talking about ECE, not to the high schools.
Yeah. And Meenakshi ma'am, then I want to know, is there a national curriculum for early childhood education in your country? What is the nature of the curriculum in your country?
For this time, yes. For the first time, my answer is yes. My country is providing, the ECE course for that, and the union government is including ECE and adult education into national curriculum policy. This time, yes, they have done that.
Yes, Nilaka, yes. Sorry to interrupt you. Just now we have Dr. Dheeraj Malhotra from Kunwar Global School, India. So I would like to welcome Dr. Dheeraj for the discussion as well. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And it's really, really exciting for me to be a party this evening. And I welcome Madam Meenakshi and the team, yes, from the South Asian Institute, and looking forward with this very wonderful initiative by Mr. Janika. So greetings from India, and let's take the interview forward. Thank you very much for welcoming me.
Thank you, sir. And then I would like to continue the session with Meenakshi ma'am. I would like to ask ma'am, how can you explain the internal and external physical environment in Eccd centers in your country?
See, the both internal and external environment that you're talking, right? So internal environment is a part of business environment. It's very clear from the question. So it's concerned with different factors presented within the organization. Depends from organization to organization. So, but on the flip side, the external environment is, composed of those factors which are exterior to the firm. It's only very clear from the question that it's only pertaining to making money, buying and selling merchandise. But if you want to be more specific, so I would like to answer here is the factors. That is, first is nature. So for coming to internal factor is that is the controlled environment, and to the external environment is the uncontrolled environment. You cannot control that. It's not in your hands. The second thing which I want to emphasize is, it comprises of strengths and weaknesses in the internal environment of the sector, while into the external environment, it's all of opportunities and the threats that we should not forget. Now, third point is effects. What affects this thing? The only thing which is affected here, internal environment, is only the company. While in, the external thing is all the companies, operating sector, and the industry. The three factors are, are affected with that. The last is who is bearing on that? Who is the main bearer? So the business, the strategies, the functional, and the, decision-making team that are the bearers on the internal factors. While coming to the external factors, the survival growth and the reputation and the expansion, that is the only things that are being, the bearer on, to be very, very specific, precise on that.
Okay. Then Meenakshi ma'am, tell me, what are the main characteristics of the teaching and learning process in Eccd centers in your country? Main characteristics.
So in a broad way, if we talk about ECE, the suggest, should be given in a greater prominence, that is the EYFS, if you are about to, that is the main framework that we conclude that. But the main three characteristics which I want to focus today is, number one is playing and exploring, which concludes to engagement of a child. As it's a very primary age, again, I'm saying 0 to 6 years is the basic age of a child. So playing and exploring is more important, where the engagement of the child is, being concentrated on. The second is active learning. That is how you motivate a child. If you are an educator, how you, push a child in doing new activities and exploring new things into that, because we need to push that. We as an educator need to do that. The third important point is creating, creating and creative thinking. That is the major important thing where the main mind development happens, where critical thinking depends on that. So this is the main thing which, the ECE are totally based on. The three main characteristics, that's it. If you look into any curriculum, any part of India, now recently I have done my diploma course from Gary Victoria University, Australia. If you see that, if you see Indian framework, or if I see your framework, you'll come to the same thing, because it lies on three main domains of the things where a child can be developed: playing, exploring, active learning, and critical thinking. That's it.
Yes. As you said, and your second characteristic, I'd like to ask then, how do these ECCD teachers assess the students' performance in the early childhood care and development centers?
It's how do you evaluate, a child? Assessment is an ECE's comprehensive framework. You need to have a comprehensive framework for assessing a child. You have a different character on the three main domains of what I have, answered in the previous question. The framework, the assessment sheets are being based on that. It's only on the comprehensive type of assessment, where we evaluate the students on the knowledge and the skills, basically on skills, then to the knowledge. Knowledge can be developed once you have a skill.
Yes. Then how is the parents' involvement at home for this holistic development of these children in the early childhood stage?
The first thing is, I want to tell you that if a person, if anybody is asking about holistic development, he needs to understand the meaning of what is holistic development. Then we can answer that question. So holistic development means socially, emotionally, physically, intellectually, and spiritually, all type of developments all together. That is called holistic development. Here, what happens is nowadays parents are more involved, as I said. So initially parents were not involved into the activities and what is going on to the school. They were just like, okay, you go and come back. But now they are more involved into what is happening in the school, how the teachers are, taking the activities, what my child has learned today, something new. And same thing, how do they, improve certain things at sitting at home. So here the parents take the child's passion and turns into learning opportunities by doing small activities at home also. With doing that, what happens, they enhances, there is an enhancement in the skill development. So creating a comfortable and safe environment for the child and connecting themselves with them, that, creates a lot of impact, what I can say, for a child's life. And it can help, in learning. It can really, push that child to do miracles. So that is how I believe the parents are doing here.
Yes, I also totally agree with you, ma'am. And then can you tell me what are the minimum qualifications of early childhood care and development teachers in your?
I guess that is a... Rasini, can you just repeat the question for me, please? I guess she's on a glitch.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. She just wanted to know the minimum qualifications of an ECCD teacher in your country.
So it's throughout the globe, the minimum qualification, what I want to say is graduation, plus a diploma course for ECE pertaining to anything, plus a 1-year course specifically for ECE development. And then specialization for any ECE, that is 1-year course. If a basic EC teacher, then you can have a graduation plus diploma.
I'm sorry, ma'am. There was a cover cut. Miss Hasini, did she answer the question?
Yeah, she did. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the question. And my last question is from you to know what is the interest of school leavers to be early childhood care development teachers in your country?
A lot of students, as I said in the starting, that they are more keen to be doctors and engineers. But now in today's world where we are heading today, after COVID, is only two industries which are booming on is the hospitality domain and the education domain. So students, the newly graduated students, that survey says, and I quote, it's like 73% of the students, they are looking into education sector as a new career, or as a new place for all opening of their careers. And it's throughout the world, not pertaining to India. It's throughout the world. 73% of the crowd, they are looking education industry as a booming industry, and they want to join that industry and make their career into that.
Yeah, thank you so much, Meenakshi ma'am. So we have come to the end of the discussion. So I'd like to thank you, ma'am, for participating and giving this valuable time and sharing your knowledge and your experience with us. Actually, we had a good experience to discuss these things with you. So I'd like to turn to Ms. Hasini to end this discussion. Ms. Hasini.
Yeah. First of all, I would like to thank Dr. Meenakshi for coming up with such an informative discussion. That was indeed a fruitful session. Thank you, ma'am. And thank you. Yes, ma'am. And thank you, Ms. Nilanka, for conducting the interview. And thank you, Dr. Dheeraj. As always, you've given your fullest cooperation for all these events. And thank you, thank you, Mr. Janaka, our president, for creating this platform. I mean, if it wasn't for this platform, we would have never gathered like this and discussed on such important topics in education. Thank you very much, sir, for that. And with that, I guess we can wind up the session. Finally, once again, I would like to remind about the summit we have planned in June, the South Asian Educational Summit 2022. We hope to see you all at the summit as well. Again, I would like to invite all the countries in the region to join in hand with us on this event as well. And we hope to have many more sessions in going forward until the date of the summit. So let's meet again from such a session in the near future. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you and have a nice day. Good night, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Nilanka. Thank you, Hasini. It was a delight to be here, to be a part of this interview. Thank you for organizing. I just want to thank the organizing team who was involved into this session. Thank you. Mr. Janak also. Thank you so much.
Welcome, ma'am. Thank you.